Welcome to the ride review of the Pivot Trailcat. Today I'm on the Trailcat SL. There's two models of the Trailcat. There's the SL and there's the LT. SL stands for super light, LT stands for long travel. So again, today I'm on the SL. The SL comes with 120 rear travel, 140 front, in a multitude of different builds. So you can spec it anywhere from like a Ride SLX up to full tilt boogie transmission XX1. The Trailcat is the replacement for the Pivot 429. 429 has been a staple in the Pivot lineup for quite a while. It's been one of their most popular bikes, a fantastic short travel trail bike that basically has always punched above its weight class. So it's been able to feel more capable than a lot of other short travel trail bikes. Its DNA is the DW link with a very progressive suspension design, giving you good support while climbing, hitting square hits, and stand-up pedaling, very good. Very little in the way of power loss with suspension bob, and one of the best technical climbing suspension designs I've ever ridden. Whether it be on their 429, the Switchblade, or the Firebird, all of them I feel are tops in their categories for not just seated climbing, but they really shine in technical climbing, stand-up pedaling. That's where they're leading their classes, in my opinion, in most cases. So today on the Trailcat SL, we're riding in the Ramba system, which is in Ishpeming, Michigan, Negaunee, Michigan, shared trails between the two towns on fairly rugged technical single track. We're going to cover a wide range of discipline, whether it's techie climbing, rooty climbing, flowier sections, and techie descents. So enjoy the review. We'll talk about the bike as we go. So this is one of the flowier feeling spots. Quick descent with some flowy trail, winding through these pines, called Pine Snake is the trail, and it's just a beautiful area, especially as the greenery starts coming in the spring, with some great trail riding. Oh. So what I'm feeling so far is the bike is handling the corners nice. The head tube angle feels good. It doesn't have to really lean the bike a ton to get it through corners. It still feels pretty XC while cornering, but yet on some of those descents, it stays like stable. It doesn't get twitchy on the higher speed stuff, which is a really nice attribute for a lightweight trail bike. With 140 front, 120 rear, it can handle features like this really, really well. That's a fairly decent step down with a chunky bit in the middle if you land on it. And the suspension felt really, really good. Like, I feel like it might even be making better use of the rear suspension than the previous or outgoing 429. And to me, that bike did a great job, feeling way more than 120 from a travel standpoint. Felt great. So as we move along through this next section, there's going to be techier bits, short punchy climbs, rooty rocks, things to, you know, stall bikes out, and we're going to see how the bike climbs up and over a lot of that terrain and how we flow through some corners. We're also going to get a couple of spots where we'll have a higher speed section over roots, and we're going to have a little rock drop to flat, and even a technical climbing section over some roots, and we'll see how the bike handles all of that with the suspension. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it. So let's go see some more trail. So this trail, we're going up here. This is the start of Fenceline. We turn on end of the line and then on to Coyote Den. And probably one of the more popular sections of trail here. We have pretty fun rock roll partway through, along with this rooty climb, which is a lot of fun, and some rocky stuff coming up, and some old railroad tracks. So let's see how Trailcat SL does. Did a nice job maintaining speed and momentum up and over that section. Didn't really feel like it hung up. Rolled over it fairly well. Nice. So let's see how this goes on the downhills now. Chunky section, big root pile there, into a little rock drop right here. Boom, nice. Yeah, decent sized rock roll. Shoot across into the chunky bit. Very good. Oh, this is doing a nice job. Oh, that was nice. Beautiful. Yeah, so that was feeling really solid. Like it had plenty of suspension travel and it was making good use of it. I felt planted where I wanted, but had a nice pop up and off of that rock drop, so that was good. Now we're going to check this rooty climb and see how it does up and over this. Part of the gas made it almost too easy. Wow. That felt really, really good. So this next section is a little steeper terrain with roots. Kind of a challenge for a lot of bikes to effectively or efficiently make it up this. And this thing just motors. Another section of roots here, right up and over. No issues. Feels great. Not stalling out. Really liking it. All right. Now we're gonna go up the fence line and then drop down. This is a good test for sprinting uphill and fast descent. Two upshifts going up the hill. Pretty good. Let's pedal into the downhill. Get ripping. Oh yes. Well, that felt fast. Guess we'll find out. Woo, that was good times. Whew. What I really dig about the Trailcat in this terrain, I mean, it feels like the bike is just designed to ride here. The type of technical riding with the square hits on rocks and roots that we have, it really just handles all of it so well. Keeps the tire planted, allows you to motor up and over challenging bits and be moving along fairly quick on what are not the easiest of trails. So the pivot suspension design just does great here on the Trailcat, Shadowcat, Switchblade, and Firebird. Hard to go wrong riding one of those in this terrain. Nice little section of roots here that tends to stall bikes out. And this thing just, again, if you're looking for a bike that can Rudy climb step ups like this, this thing is fantastic. One of the better ones that I've ridden, without a doubt. So entering our last section of trail, this is Camelback, and it's probably one of my favorite trails, especially to finish a ride off on. There's some really fun, like flow, well, Ramba flow, which is a little different than others. Places you pick your lines to try to be more efficient, flow through these rocky sections without getting hung up and slowed down. And it's a fun place to test these bikes for their maneuverability, playfulness, overall speed, and just really get a good idea for what the bike is like when you're trying to go fast. So that's what we're doing here. Trying to go fast. And so far it's doing it really well. I like it. Coming in to the last bit of this section, this trail, and up and over this, through some flow. There's a rock jump partway through. Fun to try to pick up the bike, change direction mid-air, and see how fun and maneuverable. Here it comes. Nice. Couple corners here. Nice. Push up and over the last crest and downhill out to the parking lot. Whew. A little bit of rain the last couple days, making some of the spots slick. But there we are. Got her done. So if you get a chance, come on, ride the Rambo trails in the Upper Peninsula. They're an absolute blast. See y'all at the shop for the review. So as we take a minute or two to cover the Trailcat SL, first let's touch base on the suspension travel. Again, the front has 140 millimeters of travel wear, the rear has 120. The bike rides extremely well over rocky, rooty terrain that's technical, square hits, but that's really what the bike is designed to do. Pivot specializes in making bikes that climb extremely well and handle square hits extremely well, yet stay really planted on descending, keeping the rider in full control and feeling confident and comfortable. Some of the things that really did surprise me though on the bike is while I've ridden pivots for a long time, and I've ridden a number of them, I own a Switchblade and a Firebird and a 429, I really enjoy the way that those bikes climb. I was really surprised that this one is less prone to some of the front end stall out that I've had in a couple of the other bikes in climbing, and the rear suspension seems to have been refined and even doing a better job on technical climbing over the rooty sections that we have here in our local trails. The other thing that really impressed me was its descending. I didn't know how I would feel on the descending on this bike. It's, you know, a lighter version of the bike, and I'll touch base on that in a little bit. But I was really surprised in some of the descending that I did. In fact, I got a PR on one of our sections of descending trail. I beat my previous by a full second, and that was done on a Switchblade. So the bike is extremely capable in the climbing and in the descending. I feel like it's riding really well in our trail system. It's hard for me to find negatives on this bike, and that's kind of a weird thing. I guess if I was to talk about any of the negatives, for me it's a little bit in the setup, or you know, the spec. I would prefer a 45 mil stem instead of a 55 like the SL comes with, and different tire selection than the LT. The LT and the SL come with the same tire and wheel combination, and there's only about a pound difference between those two bikes. Calling this the Trailcat SL, meaning super light, I don't feel totally fits the bill. While it's still a lightweight trail bike, we've got, you know, carbon cranks upgraded on this one. We're running our West End Ride Design cross-country up wheels, or the word ups as we like to call them, with bird spokes. So that's really taking a lot of the weight out of the rotating mass. And then we've changed the tires to a Maxxis Icon versus the DHR2 in the front and the Dissector in the rear. Both of those are fine tires, but I feel on an SL trail bike, they're a little bit overkill. So I would actually have liked to see this be called the Pivot Trailcat, and then the Trailcat LT for the longer travel version. So what's really amazing on the bike, like I said, the descending, the climbing, and if it's this good on the SL version, it really begs the question, how is the LT going to perform? And that's something I'm really excited to find out about riding in our trail system. So hopefully this has done a decent job covering it for you. Overall, the bike is extremely impressive. Is it going to win cross-country races? No, but that's what the Mach 4 is for. It is a very fast trail bike, a pretty darn light trail bike at 28 pounds the way we have it set up before pedals, and extremely capable in descending some of the challenging terrain we have here. Big thumbs up from me on this one. Pivot did a great job with it. If you get a chance to ride one, don't hesitate, get on one. You'll have a blast.